same shit I did, man. You won't know. Well, that's good. My name's Bob DiPiero, and I am a world famous songwriter, which means you don't know who in the hell I am. But that's a good thing. And I've lived in Nashville, Tennessee for a good while. And I've done a lot of shows up here at Joe's Pub with great songwriters, you know, and those series are going to continue on. But I wanted to do something different. Hold on. I'm having so much trouble. Help me. Hold on. Hold on. I promise I can do it. How did this happen? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Just a minute. Hold on. Hold it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I got you. So I've been doing these songwriter shows up here for like 10 years. And Joe's Pub has just been our home base for music from Nashville, Tennessee. And y'all have just supported this forever. And I want to thank Joe's Pub for being behind these songwriter shows and you folks for showing up. Thank you very much. But, you know, I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Ohio, and yeah, and I played in rock and roll bands forever, and I just wanted to kick out the jams a little bit and play. So I met these guys yesterday. I did. I'm not kidding you. I met these guys yesterday, and we rehearsed, not too much. It's not good to rehearse too much. And we're going to play some songs I've written, and I hope you like it. Here we go. Back in the pine. Oh, that little girl, she was my God, that's great. Thank you so much. Man, I mean, you know, I grew up in the Midwest playing in a rock and roll band, you know, and then I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and I started writing songs, and that's kind of what I ended up doing for, well, like now. I'm still writing songs, and it's a great thing to be able to do. Something that you love, you know. I know how blessed I am. Like, for instance, this song, a guy by the name of Delbert McClinton recorded this song. I don't know if you know Delbert, but he's a Texas blues guy. R&B kind of guy. He's so great, you know, and I love his style. And also, Etta James recorded the song. You know, you just never know where your songs are going to end up. So, one of my personal faves. Come on! So, you know, living in Nashville, well, you write country songs living in Nashville. And as a songwriter, you know, you just kind of, sometimes you just show up and nobody has any ideas, because it's always good to show up at a songwriting session with something. And I don't mean a coffee cake. I mean, like, show up with an idea or a title or concept or guitar riff. You know, it's always good to get it going. We didn't do that on this song. Both of us showed up with absolutely zero. But by some weird thing, I listened to this guy by the name of Louis Prima. Oh, you know Louis Prima? Old Italian kind of Las Vegas kind of entertainer, you know. Did that kind of stuff, you know. He did, you know, he did that kind of thing. And I don't know why I was thinking of Louis Prima, but I was driving into the session to write, and I was thinking of that, whatever that is. And this is what we came up with. guys are killing it. That's so good. So, I wrote this song with Vince Gill. And we were both going through a really hard time in our lives. We were both going through some really painful stuff in our lives, you know. And we got together. And in the morning we wrote this one song, and it was really cool. Kind of a rock song, you know, Eric Clapton ended up recording it. And we came back in the afternoon. And sometimes as a songwriter, I think Keith Richards said it best, you're kind of just like an antenna. And you kind of just draw in what's happening. And that's what happened to this song. There's nothing quite as lonely as a sky that turns to gray, or love that just starts dying and slowly fades away. You were my best companion, now we lie silent in the dark. Why do you and me have to be worlds apart? And there's nothing quite as empty as when children go away. All that's left is just a memory of all those yesterdays. And you can't understand that feeling till it finds its way to us. Why do you and me have to be worlds apart? Nothing quite as ugly as two people filled with hate. All we lost stand up as equals when we stand at heaven's gate. All of us still the answer, and it's the only place to start. Why do you and me have to be worlds apart? Love is still the answer, and song and you really don't know where it's going to go. And it's kind of like this next song. Written to a friend of mine by the name of Tom Douglas. And he had this title, and I really liked it. And you know, when you hear a title, it's like, okay, so how do we write this? You know, there's like, well, we could write it like this, and we could write it like this, or darker, you know, or we could just let it write itself. And that's kind of what we did with this song, you know. When I moved to Nashville, I knew no one, but Nashville, Tennessee kind of just spoke to me. You know, it was just a great place to live. I called it a little big town. And then I started this company, and I called it Little Big Town. And then I sold this company, and this group was getting together, and they said, hey, can we use your name, Little Big Town? And I said, well, sure, why not? Go ahead. You know, because chances of anybody making it in the business are slim and none, right? Sure, you can use the name, Little Big Town, sure, why not? And they've never cut a damn song of mine since then, and I'm so pissed off at them. I'm gonna smack that blonde girl, bam, bam, bam. Even though she's cute, I'm gonna go bam, bam. No, I'm not gonna smack her. But they're great folks. But that's what Nashville was to me, and the South was kind of someplace I never thought of moving to until I moved there. So I came to writing this song. This is my love letter to the South, you know. And also, as a songwriter, I like words, you know, I call them juicy words. Love to use juicy words, and this song is one of my favorite juicy words of all time. Appalachia Cold. Here we go.
Well,
America's my home. But sweet iced tea, Jerry and Lee, Daytona Beach, that's what gets to me. I can feel it in my McGraw recorded that. Or as we like to call him in Nashville, Mr. Faith Hill. And ever since I started saying that, he doesn't record any more of my songs. I don't get it. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. So, hold on, let me fix this. There we go. This song is kind of a, I said it earlier, you know, sometimes as a songwriter, I had this class in college back in the day, you know, back in the day where they had this kind of course called Humanities. And it consisted of crazy shit. Like, we would walk around campus and look at tree bark. That kind of stuff. And it worked out for me because everything looked like tree bark to me back then, you know. It's just goofy stuff, you know. But I caught this one thing, man, this professor said, and he said, whatever you do, don't judge your own art. You just make it and let others judge it for you, you know. And you know, you go to college and you hear all this stuff and you hardly use a lot of it, but that really hit me, you know. So when I write songs, I'm just writing them, you know. I'm not trying to pass judgment on them. I'm just writing them. And this is one of those songs. You know, I just, okay, it's another song, let's go. And it turned out to be the song of the year when this came out by a guy named Neil McCoy. So here it is. Come on. Water, trying to make it rain. years. And one thing I found hard to do while I'm doing these shows, and that is, it's hard for me to sing songs that I had written for female artists, because I don't want to appear to be a misogynist. That's a pretty big word for a guitar player, I know. But it just was really hard for me to sing from the feminine viewpoint, you know? It's really hard to deliver that. So when I got the chance to do this, I brought a girl with me. A girl who can sing. She's actually not a girl, she's a woman. And she lived in New York for quite some time. And she worked in the music biz up here, got a record deal, doing great. And then she decided to move to Nashville, try it out, and she's just been killing it down there. And I'm lucky enough to sign her to a publishing deal, and she's just killing it down there. And so I asked her to come up and sing some of these songs I've written, and she said yes. So would you please welcome Tina Parol to the stage. Come on, give her a big hand. She's so shy. So shy. Tina Parol.
Hello. Hello, Joe's Pub. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being had. Well, I mean, I don't mean it that way. You guys got a filthy mind, being nice.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad you see
It's good to be back in New York.
Yeah. So, I wrote the song for Reba McEntire. And big #1 song for her, but I could never do it because of what I just told you. But Miss Tina Parol is going to do it this time.
Try.
I sent you roses, warned you I would do all that I could to show you the way that I feel. Please don't say I'm wasting my time. I've got nothing but time to show you that I can, to catch this ghost of a chance. The sunlight, the moonlight are beyond my control. And there are stars in the heavens that I'll never hold. But if dreams give you power, then I'm strong enough to offer my heart and never give up till you love me. Till you love me. I looked in your eyes, so bright and so blue, and that's when I knew that you could be mine. If good things come to those who will wait, well, I guess I can wait, if that's what I have to do. Oh, it's worth it for you. The sunlight, the moonlight are beyond my control. And there are stars in the heavens that I'll never hold. But if dreams give you power, let Bob tell you about it because Bob wrote this with, so I'm signed to a publishing deal with Bob DiPiero, and he wrote this with my fellow Love Monkey brother, Jason Gant, and a new artist named Fancy, who you will all be hearing about very soon. He's amazing. He was based in Nashville and moved to Los Angeles recently. And this is going to be his next single.
And Fancy is started out as a country songwriter, but when you finally see Fancy on television, which you're going to, you'll see why he's not a country songwriter. When you see him, you'll understand. But he called me and he said, "Hey man, I'm out here in California," and they recorded our song. And you know what? There's 2 other people that are singing on it. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, Megan Trainor and Ariana Grande." And I said, "You're a high, aren't you? You're so high." He goes, "No, man. Megan Trainor, all about that bass girl, and of course Ariana Grande, they're singing on this song. And we're going to world premiere it on the final episode of Dancing with the Stars.
November 23rd.
November 23rd. So this is the world premiere of this song. Hope you like it.
Called Boys Like You.
I'm feeling deep cannonball drunk, thinking of your love and my heart beats like a drum. Not feeling guilty, 'cause nobody's just right. Oh, it might be wrong, might be the time of your life. So jump on in with me, let me set you free. I'll make you feel like you're dreaming. Try to follow the rules, but I break every one of them with boys like you. I hope I'm doing what I always do, crossing every line to get to boys like you. I'm tripping, freaking falling over boys like you. It's getting harder under that summer sun. I'm not playing games, I'm just a girl having fun. But I need to cool down, 'cause I know we're just friends. But one look from you, baby, and I'm falling back down. What's a girl to do? I got it bad for you. You make me feel like I'm dreaming. Yeah. Try to follow the rules, but I break every one of them with boys like you. I doing what I always do, tripping, freaking, falling over boys like you, boys like you.
much of that range?
Well, can I come over here in Leslie's house?
You can?
Okay.
Because I'm going to be watching.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that. I'm going to watch. All right. What do you want to do, Tina?
A song I've loved since kindergarten. Bob has had hits in 5 decades, guys. Not a lot of songwriters can say that. Give it up for Bob.
Legend DiPiero.
Yes, but I feel so old.
I know.
I feel so, who said I am old? How dare
No.
Al Anderson? Whatever.
Big Al.
Faith Hill recorded this song.
I love this.
This is her first album. And she was a secretary in Nashville. And there's a place in Nashville called the Bluebird Cafe. And everybody knows it now because of Nashville, right?
Yes.
Well, back in the day, back in the 1860s when I wrote this song, right after the Civil War, the Bluebird used to be a real quiet little place where like locals would go just to hang out, and a lot of musicians who were between gigs or back from the road kind of sit there and drink and hang out. And Faith, like I said, worked at a publishing company as a secretary.
I didn't know that.
She did. And so every once in a while we'd have this thing at the Bluebird during Halloween. And we'd have a costume party. Why not? So we, the writers, we'd all dress up in crazy shit. And the whole audience would dress up, you know. And so Faith shows up. And she's just starting to sing, you know. And she shows up in, I'll never forget, this little flannel PJ outfit with bunny slippers. You know, fluffy little bunny slippers with ears and little eyes that twinkle and bubble. I'm sorry. It's etched in my memory. And it's so funny. Now she's Faith Hill.
Yeah.
And here's the song.
Take me as I am.
Come on, girl.
They don't turn out the light. I wanna see you look at me. Whisper only
song is amazing. This song is so cool.
Taking the standoff for this song.
Now you hear that groove? That's called a serious groove.
Funky. Bob and I wrote this with our good friend Andrew Roberts back in Nashville. It's called Bad Liar.
Tina Parol, ladies and gentlemen. That was awesome. Tina Parol. Thank you, Tina.
You guys are awesome.
So good. She's crazy good. Did you hear yourself? Did you hear yourself? She's so good.
She is great.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You just heard my retirement fund. That's it right there. Right there. The stool up here. You know, there's all kind of great talent in Nashville. You know, they're everywhere. And everybody's good. But not everybody is that good. So please, one more time for Tina Parol. And you gotta know, as in any business, it's always more difficult for a woman to get in and make an impact and have the integrity to do what she believes in and what she really feels in her heart, and not have predators, people taking advantage of somebody's dream. And Tina is a survivor and she's an artist, so thank you, Tina. So I moved to Nashville, and I wasn't sure what I was going to be, I just wanted to play music, you know. And I didn't know if I was going to be a guitar player, an artist, or whatever. I just kind of followed the dream, I guess, and people responded to the songs I was writing. You know, to me, songs were what you did because you were in a band. You know, I come from that vintage of seeing Ed Sullivan, seeing the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. That was it. You know, that was my religious experience. I wanted to do that. Whatever that was, I wanted to do that. And, you know, I started reading about them, and these guys were writing their own songs. It's like, oh wow, I guess if you're in a band, you write songs. And I was dumb enough to think, well, if they're doing it, how could I do it too, you know? And I started writing it. So when I went to Nashville, that's what people were responding to. But I spent the first 4 years teaching guitar lessons. I was kind of a musical pusher. I'd have like 8th graders show up and I'd teach her. That's enough. Come back next week. And they'd be like, no, please don't let me like that. I just, give me your $6 and get out. Next, come on in here. All right, I got something for you. And that's kind of how I made my living for the first couple of years, you know. And actually, my first gold record, I went to this #1 party, it was the Oak Ridge Boys, and they gave me this gold record, and then I had to get on a bus and take it 15 miles north to where I was teaching guitar lessons, Rivergate Mall in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm on this bus with a gold record, right? I'm sitting in the back with this gold record, you know, and I'm seeing people like turning around going, get that gold record, man. I stole it from Hard Rock Cafe or something, you know? Sitting on the bus with my gold record, you know, and I kept teaching guitar. And then I got a song recorded, and my publisher called me up and said, man, you got your first recording. And I said, wow, great. Who? And he goes, well, it's this new artist. She's just come out. She's from Oklahoma. She's a good cowgirl. Her name is Reba McIntyre. And I said, oh, Reba McIntyre, huh? Well, I don't know what that is, but I dig her. Yeah, anybody record one of my songs, I'm digging her. Now, of course, now, Reba McIntyre is no longer Reba McIntyre. She's just Reba. And she's getting so big that pretty soon she's just going to be I'm telling you, you watch. It's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to come out. It's hilarious. But she recorded this song and it went to the top 20, which to me was like scaling the Himalayas with a Speedo and flip-flops. You know, because I was just this rock and roll guitar player from Youngstown, and songs on the radio. And then 9 months later, I get this check in the mail, what songwriters call mailbox money. Go out to your mailbox, and there's this check in there. I open it up and say, biggest check I've ever seen in my life. It had zeros on it. It had my name, and my name was spelled right. You know, it's usually DiPiero or DiPiero or Pietro or something. It's DiPiero. They spelled my name right. Holy shit. And so I went out and spent every cent of that check. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very proud of that. And I bought everything that I didn't have. And I didn't have anything. So I went out and bought it all. I bought 2 Sony color TVs, just in case I got bored of watching one. I could watch this one over here. I bought a Nikon camera, you know, in case I wanted to click some pictures. Bought video games, you know. I just bought everything I didn't have, you know. Stocked up. And then 9 months later after that, I realized I had made a slight mathematical miscalculation. I had forgot to pay Uncle Sam. And I didn't have any money left because I spent it all. So I'm sitting in my kitchen and I'm looking at this stuff. The Sony color TV over there, and there's a Sony color TV in the kitchen over here. Nikon cameras in the corner on the floor. I took like 3 pictures. You know, I got bored. I was always sick to death of that video game that I bought. Hardly played it at all. I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm going, you know what? Maybe I should write another song. What a great idea. So I'm looking at all this stuff. I'm supposed to write what you know, so I wrote this song. Seems everything I buy these days has got a foreign name. From the kind of car I drive to my video game. I got a Nikon camera. I told you, write what you know. And plus, Pentax sings really bad. But Nikon sings good. I got a Nikon camera, a Sony color TV. But the one I love is laying in the USA, laying next to me. And my baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. I'm a sticky long hair, her sexy long legs. My baby is American made. Well, she looks good in her tight blue jeans she bought in Mexico. And she loves wearing French perfume everywhere we go. But when it comes to the loving part, one thing is true. My baby's genuine USA. Red, white, and blue. And my baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From a singing long hair, a sexy long legs. My baby is American made. Yeah, my baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From a singing long hair, a sexy long legs. My baby is American made. Yeah, my baby is American made. Oh, my baby is American made. Thank you. Thank you. That song paid for a lot of therapy. It was a good one, you know, and as a songwriter, you just don't know what's going to happen to your songs, you know, and you just write them and just hope that they find a home, you know, and all of a sudden the song was the #1 record, it's my first #1, and then about a year later, it became the theme song for Miller Brewing Company. Miller's made the American way. And it was like a gusher of cash from the guy who was getting paid $100 and all the beer you could drink. And I would have never guessed that in 100 years. And then, about 10 years later, it was used in a Baby Ruth candy bar. Now look at me and think about this. Beer and candy bar. You're right what you know. You know, you're right what you know. And I grew up in the era where it was AM radio. And on AM radio, you could hear everything. No double 100 channels. It was like every song, every town had about, well, Youngstown had 2 channels. And we had a channel, and it was WHOT. WHOT, and on this radio was this guy, old school disc jockey, DJ. And his name was Boots Bell. And his deal was this, he'd say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Boots Bell, boots in your belfry, coming at you right now, 1,000,000 watts of love power, coming on strong, Boots Bell. 1,000,000 watts of love power, that's a lot of love power." So I kept that hidden away in my memory bank, and quite some time later, came around to write this song. And I thought about Boots Bell. And I thought about that time, you know. And I put him in this song. Somebody's at the front door, I can hear him knocking. The mama's on the phone and she feels like talking. There's chicken on the barbecue. Don't worry about it, baby. Just drop what you're doing, 'cause they're playing our song on the radio. Okay, Mr. DJ, that way to go. 1,000,000 watts of love power coming on strong. Dance with me, darling, they're playing our song. Now the house needs cleaning and the grass needs mowing. We both got places that we need to be going. Tomorrow is a big day and we better get ready. But tonight it's just you and me, rockin' steady. They're playing our song on the radio. Okay, Mr. DJ, that way to go. 1,000,000 watts of love power coming on strong. Dance with me, They're playing all songs. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man. I really thought I'd made it, too, when in Youngstown. Boots Bell would have these record hops. And if you were good enough, you got to play with your band. I got to play with Boots Bell. Not everybody got to play with Boots Bell. He took a lot of speed. You know, but I guess if you're a DJ and you're on 24 hours a day, you got to do something. You know? But he was a good guy. All right. How about this band? Abby on electric guitar. We got Eric on the keyboard. We got the mighty Jesse on the bass guitar. And Mr. Badass himself, Mr. Saturday Night Live drummer Sean on here. Give him a hand. Literally, we met yesterday. We did. And these guys have just been great, and it's just been an honor to play with these guys. Give them a hand again, please. Thank you, guys. You guys are killing me. So when you're from Youngstown, Ohio, and you move to Nashville, you never think that somebody from Texas is going to record one of your songs. Never entered my mind. You know, it's like, I just hope they don't kick me out of here. You know, this is just so cool being here. And all of a sudden, they recorded this song, and I went and saw Forrest Gump. And we all know that Forrest Gump said, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, blah, blah, blah. But he also said, he was talking about his girlfriend, Ginny. Remember Ginny? You know, it's like she would hang out with Forrest and then she'd leave for a while and she'd come back and all of a sudden she'd disappear again, kind of a hippie girl. And I could never figure out personally whether she was just, you know, a broken angel with broken wing or a hoe. I could never figure that out, but Forrest loved her, and that's all that counted. And he was talking about it, and he said, Ginny was gone, and all of a sudden, out of the blue clear sky, she came back. And I thought, blue clear sky, that's backwards, man. Forrest Gump, he's crazy. It's blue clear sky. It's not clear blue sky, it's clear blue sky. He confused the shit out of me. So I had this writing appointment the next day, and I show up. My buddies John Gerard and Mark D. Sanders are there, and we write a lot, you know. So we're sitting there, and like I said, it's really good if you show up at a writing appointment with something. And I don't mean a coffee cake. I mean, you show up with like an idea, riff, concept. So I said, you guys got any ideas? And they said, nope. I said, So we proceeded to do what we like to call Nashville, Tennessee as co-staring. We're just kind of looking at each other with your mouth open, you're like, you know, breathing through your mouth, going, you got anything? No. Okay. You got anything? No. Okay. I said, oh, I got something. Blue clear sky. And they both go in stereo. Well, that's backwards. It's clear blue sky. I said, I know it's clear blue sky. But that's what's cool about it. You're never going to fall in love again. You're never going to find the woman of your dreams, the person you really want to love, And then out of the blue, out of nowhere, out of the blue clear sky, she shows up. And they bought it. So we wrote a song called Blue Clear Sky. And in Nashville, you do what is called, you do a demo of the song. You record the song as you hear it in your brain, you do an arrangement of it, get some musicians, you record it, and that's what the artist gets to hear. The manager or the record label or the bus driver of the star, however you can get it to them. So we did that, and all of a sudden my phone rings about a month later, and it's this guy, Tony Brown, who's this big shot, big time producer. And we all know that he produces George Strait. The George Strait. So he calls me up and he goes, hey man, we're at the studio right now. We got the most I flew an engineer in from London for this. We got double scale musicians. We are burning money. Don't you think this song ought to be called Clear Blue Sky? Now, this is all true. I'm not making any of this up. I didn't know what to tell him, so I told him about Forrest Gump, Life's Like a Box of Chocolates, and the fact that Forrest said Blue Clear Sky. He goes, hold on. Passes the phone. And this voice comes on the phone. And this voice does not say, Bob, George Strait, or hey man, it's George Strait, or hey, George. None of that. This is exactly what he said to me. He goes, hey, where are you from? I go, what? Where are you from? I said, where am I from? I'm from, well look, I'm from Texas. Texas, we don't say blue clear sky, we say clear blue sky. Don't you think that song ought to be called Clear Blue Sky? So I told him about Forrest Gump. What was I going to tell him? George Strait is talking to me. Life's Like a Box of Chocolates, and the fact that Forrest Gump said Blue Clear Sky. He goes, all right. Silence. I go, well, what do you think you're going to do, George? And he goes, now this is all true. You can't make this shit up. This is true. I said, what do you think you're going to do, George? And he goes, well, let me ask you something. Do you think there's many Gumpsters out there? Now this is an executive show business decision. Do you think there's many Gumpsters out there? And I said, yeah, I think there's a lot of Gumpsters out there. This movie theater was packed with Gumpsters, and when I left, there was a line down the street of people fixing to get Gumpsterized. Yes, I think there's a lot of Gumpsters. And he goes, all right. Silence. I said, well, what do you think you're going to do, George? And he goes, well, I guess we'll be Gumpsters then. And he goes, and he hung up, he recorded Blue Clear Sky, and the song was the #1 record, was #1 for 6 weeks, and he named his album Blue Clear Sky, and the album was the CMA Album of the Year. So don't change your mind if you believe in it. Come on! All in this life. been up here? Not long enough? All right. Just because of that, we're going to do this to you. You know, you make friends along the way, and you know, sometimes they become good friends, and sometimes they just kind of go away and move on, you know. But, and it's funny when people, you know, you see them start at nothing and go from there. And this guy, he and I have been friends for a long time. I mean, serious friends. Tell him everything kind of friends, you know. And, he's in a band, Brooks and Dunn. Kitch Brooks is a great guy. And it's so funny, I didn't pitch this song to him, but somebody else did. And only they could have done this song, because this song is about this girl I used to know. Connie. That's right, Connie. And Connie, well, now she works at Branson, Branson, Missouri. I like to call it Las Vegas for Baptists. Very hard to get a drink there, but you can find macaroni and cheese on every corner. And Connie works at this theater, or theater, as they like to call it, and which is not a bad thing. Except in Branson, they have theaters that open up at 8 o'clock in the morning, like early bird shows. Now, if you're Catholic and you believe in purgatory, you're that bass player playing on that early bird show, and you're looking at your watch and going, oh man, I got another 10,000 years to go. 8 a.m., you're killing me. But she works there, and Connie is what I call the black sheep of the family. The kind of girl who would show up at a funeral in a push-up bra and a thong. It's, you know, it's hard for a girl to be black sheep of the family, but Connie is that kind of girl, so I called it the Ballad of Connie. And Brooks and Dunn called it, You Can't Take the Honky-Tonk Out of the Girl.
Time
I learned living in the South is you can say anything about anybody as long as you follow up with bless her heart. Anything. Oh my goodness, look at her, she's gained 50 pounds, bless her heart. Or, is that her fourth husband, bless her heart. You just try it. If you get down there, it's like a hillbilly get out of jail free card. Getting any sort of problems, remember what Bob told you. Bless her heart. What do you guys want to do? What did you say? Which song? I'm going to ask Tina Parol to come back up here. Help me out. Come on up here, girl. Come on up here.
How many people know this song? It's called God.
This ain't no temperance. Tear for goodbye. This ain't no waking up, making up, not breaking up one more time. This is gone, 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 gone. Maybe we can work it out. That's what I thought. This ain't no champagne, red rose romance, second chance. This is gone. Freight train gone like yesterday, gone like a soldier in the Civil War, gone like a 59 Cadillac, like all the good days ain't coming back, and she's gone, 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 she's gone like a freight train, gone like a gone like a 59 Cadillac. job, thank you. We'll be back in the springtime, that's okay.